Michael, Indiana Jones in the Great Circle gets a 14-minute gameplay deep dive. You and I checked it out and have a couple things to say about it, that's for sure. Tom Ivan over at VGC goes on to explain, from locations and puzzles to gear and combat, Machine Games audio director Pete Ward takes on a whirlwind journey through the world of the Great Circle. And quote, reads the description accompanying the video. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle will be released on Xbox Series X, PC, and on Game Pass on December 9th. And in 2025 on PS5. Dude, I'm still I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. VGC said Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is, quote, shaping up incredibly well, end quote. So far, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle isn't just the Indiana Jones adventure that fans have waited 40 years for, it's the video game that the franchise has truly deserved, end quote, is what Insider Gaming wrote. One of those interesting little things, Michael. So Troy Baker, the voice of Indiana Jones, which I thought was super cool to see him in there, play that role. What are your thoughts on the 14-minute deep dive?
I thought it was really, really good, right? I think you and I have the exact same singular issue with the game. You've talked about it a bunch. It probably should be third person, right? That's the one thing. Either third person or I want to say like a Skyrim feel, right? Where you can switch between third and first person. I think there are some interesting transitions, right? That if you watch the deep dive, they do transition, like if Indy's climbing up a wall, to third person. I think the game looks really good when you do that. It just feels like it should have been permanently third person. But outside of that one complaint, this game looks absolutely fantastic. This game looks like it's going to be a ton of fun. I think I'm very curious how the S is going to handle it, right? There's a lot of graphically intense. There's snow level, right? Anytime there's a snow level, your S is going to sound like it's about to take flight, like it's a Boeing 747, because it sounds like it is going to be, exactly, it's going to be chunking. But I thought it looked great. I think the one thing that's really interesting, right? When I came into this, I was like, all right, this is probably like a 15, 20-hour game, right? Maybe a 10-hour campaign, 5-10 hours of side quest exploration. This really feels like we could be in that 30-40-hour range, dude. They kept hitting on this fact that they're like, there's stuff for you to do, right? Like, yeah, you could just go through the level like normal, but you look over here, you might see a treasure, and you might be like, wait, what goes over here? And then you say, okay, hey, there's this statue I can pick up. What if I put it down? What if I, use this item on something, and all of a sudden that unlocks a treasure, and it's going to give you something you have to remember for a different level. It seems like there is a lot of, it's almost like a sandbox game, which is really interesting. It's a story-based sandbox. I thought was really, really cool. Those are always tough to pull off because you don't have open world, you don't have this sort of, hey, go explore everywhere. It's more linear, but it really does seem like they hit home on this idea. Like, if you're eagle-eyed, you're going to be like, wait, what if I just go over here? I don't want to follow the main story. I want to go over here. I want to check this out. And you're going to get lost, and it's going to be one of those games, as you said, that water cooler moment where you're like, hey, when you were on this level, did you see this secret? Oh, you didn't? Man, you got to go back and check it out. Or, hey, how did you solve this puzzle? This puzzle is really interesting. Other thing I like, Drew, they seem to realize people want to have hints, but they don't want to get handed to them, right? They're like, hey, look, your camera can give you a hint if you want it, but they're not going to just shove it down your throat. Puzzle games always have that issue. Either the puzzles are too hard and I have to go Google them, or you struggle for 20 seconds and the game's immediately like, what about over here? So I think they have that good balance of puzzles, and I'm even more excited for this game than I was yesterday.
No, absolutely. I think me coming out of the video going, hey, you know what? I'm definitely more intrigued now than I was earlier. So it has paid off, right, for them to put out this 14-minute clip of what we're going to get into. The whip mechanic is something that we've never really seen before in the game. And I think it's going to pay off dividends here. Obviously, it's a big indie staple to have that whip. So I think some of the cool mechanics, like I saw, he just whipped it and he hits a bottle, which then distracts the guard, goes that way. Indy goes the other way. We're like, all right, cool, right? Obviously, the swing mechanic, some stealth mechanics in there, the puzzles, the idea of exploration. And they made a point, too, of saying each area has been handcrafted, right? So it's not just like generated, like Starfield with 1,000 planets and all that kind of stuff. It is, each area has been handcrafted for you to go explore, and exploring will pay off, as they said in the video, because it will lead to other hints and clues that help build up the story and things to do around the area. So I'm very, very excited. Like you said, dude, I really do wish it was just third person, but I think they're too afraid of being pinpointed in the Uncharted direction, right? So they don't want to go, this is just an Uncharted ripoff or a Tomb Raider ripoff. No, but I think as the transitions, they look really smooth going from first person, and then you swing third person, right? You climb up a ladder, goes third person, climb through a little narrow area that you're going to get it to the other side, it goes third person. So there is a lot of third person. It kind of reminds me of Deus Ex, if you ever played that back in the day. And it goes from one of the more recent ones, the reboot series, which is old now at this point. But it's one of those, a lot of transitioning between first person and third person, back and forth, and it looks really good. But man, like, you're so close to just having it. Just give us the complete option to go third person, because it's already there. It's already built, designed, ready to go. So if I wanted to have that ability, kind of like Starfield, where you can play first person or third person, or like you said too, Skyrim in that manner as well, then I think that would have been on par to be able to go, hey, I'm a third person guy through and through. If I can get away from playing first person, then I tend to do that, right? So I would go in that direction. It would be a nice little feature. I wonder if it's one of those things that they're going to add on in the future, because there's a lot of, I think, opportunities here. The going to PlayStation though, man, like, more gamers the better. And I'm happy for PlayStation to be able to play this game, but at the same time, dude, where's the exclusives?